Hello, um, my name is Nigel D. Salmon, as you know, and today in this episode, I want to talk to you, speak to you about how to write a scene in a story. A lot of times I read books and read scenes in the stories, and I notice that sometimes the authors tend to be incomplete in writing their scenes. And so um, I've been improving since my first book was published in 2013, and I've been improving since then. And I've noticed some things about scene writing that I think we as authors need to improve on, and that is how to write a complete scene. So, in this episode, I'm gonna be showing you how to write a complete scene. And I did a video on this some time ago. It's on YouTube. But here on Spreaker, I'm going to be showing you how to write a complete scene. So to write a complete scene, you need to show the 5 senses of questions. You need to show why, when, where, how, and who. Now, in showing why points to purpose. What is the purpose of the scene? So you're writing your story. What is the purpose of this scene? So let's say, for example, you're writing that David and Sandra are inside of a car conversing. So you have a scene with David and Sandra. What is the purpose of this scene? Before you even write a scene, you must identify the purpose. So ensure that there's a purpose for the scene. And the purpose must serve the story itself. You know, it must have something to do with the progress of the story. That's the purpose. The purpose must be within the progress of the story. So the first thing is why. Why are you writing the scene? And why points to purpose. The second thing is when. When points to time. So you have the scene with David and Sandra. You need to show when this scene is happening. Is it in the morning? Is it midday? Is it evening? You need to show a time. So time points to when. Don't just write that David and Sandra are conversing in a car and blah blah blah. But if you don't show when, then the character will not know when it's happening. Is it happening at midnight? At morning? Is it evening? So show when. When points to time. The third thing is where. You need to give up. Where points to location. You need to give a location to the scene. So we are still using the example of David and Sandra. So David and Sandra are conversing in a car. Where? Is it outside David's business place? Is it inside of a garden? Is it inside of is it on a busy street in downtown Kingston, Jamaica? You know, where? So where points to location. You need to give a location to your scene. And the third thing that we'll be looking at is who. And this is automatic. Who points to characters. So you have David and Sandra. And you can go further if you have not introduced them before. If this scene is where you are introducing David and Sandra, then telling the reader who they are is very important. Who is Sandra? Who is David? So explain to the reader who these characters are. So in a scene, you need to show who. You need to have characters. That's like automatic. You're writing a scene, you're automatically gonna have characters. But then you need to show the reader who they are, especially if you're introducing them for the first time. And the last thing we'll be looking at is how. Okay, how. How points to connection. You need to show the reader how this scene is connected to the entire story. Yes, you may have a purpose for the scene, but is the scene, does the scene connect with the story? For example, you're writing a story about in a war, and then in the middle of the war, you have two people singing and dancing. if if that doesn't connect with what is going on with the rest of the story, then the scene has no connection to the story. So you have to ensure that scene by scene have a connection, because when you're writing a story, it's like you're building a house. A builder will have block upon block or brick upon brick, and each of them have to have a proper connection in order to have a proper wall. And the same thing with a story. If you have a scene that doesn't connect with everything else, it doesn't show any connection to what's happening. It doesn't show any connection to the purpose of the story, to the plot of the story, and to what the reader wants to understand about the story, then it doesn't make any sense. So how shows connection. So let me just go over them again. So in writing a complete scene, you need to show why. Why points to purpose. You need to show when. When points to a time. You need to show where. Where points to location. You need to show who. Who points to characters. And finally, you need to show how. And how points to the connection of the scene to the entire story. I hope this has been very helpful, guys. Thanks for listening, and please check out my other episodes and more episodes to come. Thank you very much.